Hey, Reece, spooky season is here, man. Spooky season is here. October 1st. Yeah. You got any plans to celebrate?
In terms of horror games to play?
In terms of anything.
In terms of anything. Celebrations in Halloween? No, we've not done anything like that. We used to have block parties around us.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, in terms of games, I don't know, it's some I'm looking forward to. I've got some downloads playing non-VR, but they don't really do much for me anymore these days. I need to go back to Madison, but I don't think I can muster it up again.
No, another one of these, huh? It doesn't matter who my co-host is. You're all wussies.
Mate, okay, I played Madison in the non-VR, and I thought, you know what, I'm invincible to it. I loaded up in VR, I was like, what the hell?
Yeah.
You arseholes.
All right, well then, listen everybody, this is Reece from Games with Tea. Make sure you click the link in the description below and go subscribe to his channel. We're gonna get the show started. You ready?
Do it.
Let's
Yeah.
go. This is PSVR Gamescast Live. We film live every single Monday, WesDay, and TOS Friday right here on YouTube. We do it live 6 p.m. Eastern for your viewing pleasure. But guess what? We also care about your oral pleasure. That's why we put this thing up on podcast services of your choice. I'm all caught up, too. I got all the podcasts up. I'm so sorry for everyone who waited all week to get the last 3, but they are up now. My name is Brian Pollock from this channel right here without Parole, and this gentleman over here to my left. You're right. It is Reece from Games with Tea. Reece, what's up, dude? We haven't seen you in forever.
I'm golden. I know. To be fair, I'm surprised I'm even back.
Yeah, I mean, you were pretty horrible the first time, so.
Yeah, I did think that. I did. Yeah, I got that impression, and I was like, I got off the thing. I was like, yeah, I ain't going there again.
Yeah,
I'm shocked to see you ask.
well, let's be fair. I didn't ask. You asked.
Yeah, it's true. I did mention it, but you did ask me the time before, and I kind of said, "Oh, sorry, man, I can't." So this kind of counteract that. It's not like I just begged or anything, because it's not my style. Please, Brian, let me back.
No. You were fun last time. I'm so glad to have you back. Always, and it's always good, man, to hear another voice. Trust me. I think people are sick of me. They see me here 3 times a week, and unfortunately, we have different co-hosts: AJ, Wes, Miles. But man, I do think it's nice for a change every so often, and so, yeah. So here we are, and
Exactly.
we're actually here because. We'll go into more depth about this in just a little bit, but you're here because you actually went and played Thief VR Legacy of Shadow in person. You played it yourself. You didn't have to watch Ian Higton over on Eurogamer and then have Vertigo Games email you and say, could you also take your video down because you are in violation of an embargo that we never gave you? It's like, sure, I'm a nice guy. I'm a nice guy.
That did make me chuckle when you was like, I've had to kind of take the video down. I'm like, yeah, Brian's a good guy. That's why it's the only reason he's done it here. It's the only reason.
Yep. Also, it was like, the funny thing is like, I was ready for bed. I was playing Castlevania Advanced Collection in bed. It was 5 o'clock in the morning, 5:30. I was playing Circle of the Moon. And I was like, I'll just check my email real quick before I go to sleep. They had emailed me 5:17 a.m. It being like, can you take this down until 1 p.m. Eastern? When the embargo was up. I was like, bro, first of all, did you think I was going to be awake at 5 a.m.? And if so, you're assuming I'm going to be waking on like 5 or 6 hours, right? And then I'm going to take the video down for 2 hours and then put it back up to adhere to your embargo. I'm like, this is insanity. But it's a little inside baseball for everyone. That's what happened with Monday's show when it disappeared for, I don't know, 7 hours. It wasn't very long.
It was quite funny because that happened, and then in the Discord it was like, Brian's Twitter's shut down. What's happened? And I just put in the thing. I was like, Vertigo
got me.
Cease and desist.
Elon finally got me, man. It had been a long time coming, but
it is a strength that I can only commend you for having. I tell you, the amount of times I look at Twitter and I go, I need to close this thing, and I'm like, no, I'll give it one more day. It'll get better.
Nah, No, listen, it's, I don't care what social media platform people use. That's up to you guys. You do whatever you want to. I've been telling people for a very long time that I wasn't happy being over there, and that, social media can oftentimes, it's supposed to be entertainment. And when it's causing you anxiety and stress, you gotta fucking take care of yourself, man. I was never happier than when I deleted my Facebook, and I was really nervous that when I deleted my Twitter account, it was gonna be a problem. And I haven't felt better since. Like I have felt so much better since, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Woke up the next day and I was like, oof, I don't have to hang out there anymore. That's nice. So to each their own, man. To each their own. Everybody do what you want to do, but also don't tell me what to do.
Go back on Twitter.
Right? Seriously. The Game Cat Andrew Ehrenreich with the $2 tip says, Reece! He's happy you're here. I'm happy you're here. We're all happy.
I'm glad to see.
Man, dude, I actually loaded today's run of show. We got a lot to talk about, so I don't know if we should spend too much time on each one of these. But let's get going, man. What's the very first topic is from Burnsy over on our Discord. He writes in the viewer takeover channel, just like you can, without spending a single penny, get your question on the show. He says, what the hell do you think is stopping Sony from releasing future games or funding a VR mode for future releases for games like, I don't know, the new Dying Light, for example? Imagine if that was released with a VR mode. It would also jump to the top of the list. So it's clear that's what VR gamers want. If you're interested in his full viewer takeover question, it was very lengthy, and I appreciate it. This was the abridged version. But you can go over to our Discord and read the full thing if you want. He listed a bunch of great games, and really, I think most people do agree that hybrid games are maybe not the future. They might be, but they'd be perfect during this transitional period where VR hasn't quite taken off yet. It's too expensive to build VR games from scratch, and so hybrid games seem like the correct way forward, right? Giving people those deep, mechanically rich games that they love on the flat screen, but just playable in VR. What do you think, Reece, is keeping Sony from funding these things?
I don't think. I'm trying to think of a diplomatic. Fuck it. I don't think they care really.
Don't hold back, man. Don't hold back.
I've got to the point where I think Sony know they've released this great headset and they've kind of just left it there. And I did expect more at first from first party titles. I really did. And then I think after a year of seeing no announcements, things, that's kind of like, Now they have obviously lined the pockets of some. We can see that with Resident Evil, Hitman. Clearly, Hitman was limited. There was no way Hitman was developing that and then waiting 6 months, was it, to release it then on PSVR, on PCVR as it is. So they're definitely giving some money somewhere. But I also think certain games, they're probably looking at it and going, that just isn't going to align with what we want. I think it's a weird one. Although I like the mention of Dying Light in this question, because I remember Dying Light on PCVR, you can actually change the file on it and change it to VR to play it in VR, because it had a VR mode, but it was taken out. But you can actually go in and change it all. So it's quite nice to see that, because it's pretty cool in VR.
It's always a fascinating question. I think I do think that, with the number of we've only have Gran Turismo 7 and Horizon Call of the Mountain as first party examples. And
that other one that came out, that free app, what was it called?
The climate change one.
Yeah, we got that as well. Don't forget that. You've got to give them their flowers when they're due them. Okay, so
yeah, listen, but obviously, like you said, Synapse was completely paid for by PlayStation. Song in the Smoke Rekindled was completely paid for by PlayStation, and the list goes on and on and on. Resident Evil would not be on PlayStation VR2 without Sony's funding.
Not at all.
And we're playing the trailer for Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024 right now. If anybody thinks that game was not coming, that was just somebody at Microsoft was like, hey, let's make some really cool exclusive version for PlayStation 5 owners. Like let's give them the superior version. You're out of your mind. That's not what happened. There was absolutely money involved. Somebody at Sony was like, this would be great for our platform. Here's a bunch of money. Please do it. Listen, Sony hasn't been great at releasing first-party flat-screen games. They struggle. They've been in a really crappy situation for the last couple of years with the whole games of service issue. And I think they're just getting back on their feet. And I honestly think that this is their easy way of supporting PSVR2. Being like, here, we're just going to throw money at these other developers who are on track and releasing games and doing their thing and, and not struggling to get their footing back in the games industry. We're just going to give them money to do it, right? I don't think Sony's in any position right now to be like, oh, we're going to get some people over at Bend or over at Bungie, over at this studio or that studio to start making VR. Man, they've got bigger fish to fry. They've got bigger issues to deal with, right? So I think they're kind of doing what they can, and obviously not going crazy. They're not throwing tens and thousands of millions of dollars. Like, I don't know if that's a proper 1,000 million. That's a heavy thing, right? Because they're not meta. Right, they don't have an infinite amount of money, but they are doing what they can to show people like, hey, there's reasons to buy a PSVR 2. And so I think the Sony doesn't care about VR. That's just over exaggerated. I think that if you're paying attention, you're watching this channel, you know what's happening inside Sony. They do care. They care enough.
My wording's poor there. I mean, they don't care about doing ports, like first-party ports of like their own games, like bringing a native experience from the ground up. Last of Us VR. I don't think we're going to see something like that. I think that's the type of stuff they don't necessarily care about doing. But hey, maybe something will happen one day and surprise me. I bloody hope it does, because it will make my day. It'll make my year.
I'm very interested to see what happens, like, in the next few years. Because I would like to know what's happening. I would like to know why we aren't seeing more games. Is it a financial thing? Because I've been saying for a while that Sony should just have a dedicated team within their company. Like, it doesn't, 5-6 people that's what their entire job is converting first party and even third party games that, for studios who are interested into VR. And that's why I'm so glad to see Flat to VR doing their thing, because they're proving the model, right? So other people don't have to prove it. We're literally seeing Flat to VR go, hey, this is a business model that works. And I think it's going to take a minute, but Sony will realize that eventually.
Yeah. Also, Chrome Colossus mentioned Firewall Ultra. And I just want to say, the sooner we forget about that game, I think the better it is for the image of PSVR 2. So, yeah. Sorry.
Man, I really liked Firewall
Ultra. That's coming from a diehard Firewall 0 Hour fan. That game did, nothing to make me happy.
Nope. That's a good point. I forgot that game existed, and like you said, probably for the best.
I was glad you forgot it, because I wasn't going to mention it, and I saw that. I was like, okay, let's point it out as to why. But no, I think again, Ryan, we've said it before. We still love the PSVR 2 as a headset. We do. It's a great headset, and I don't think anything can be said about it. Like, sure, there's some things people would change, but I think for me, it's still the headset that re-sparked my love for VR, because I kind of hit a bit of drywall, after PSVR 1. I played it for like 2 years straight, started dimming down my time on it, and then I kind of just went, not interested now. And then PSVR 2 came out and just straight up again. I am, back in that. So I've got to be thankful for them for that.
You know who we have to be thankful for?
Go on.
Yeah. The team over at Vitruvius VR. Dude, they're just in such a good position right now. I was talking to Blake Stone from Vitruvius today. Obviously, if you guys don't know, it's the Arken team. And they just celebrated getting 1,000 reviews on the PlayStation Store.
That is awesome.
Yeah. And even better, it's not mixed reviews, really, right? I mean, Arken has a rating of 4.8 stars out of 5, and it just seems like they're absolutely killing it. Here, let's go over there. Let's see if we can bring this up on screen. If you guys haven't rated the game yet, make sure you do, because the more ratings, the better. This all helps improve visibility over there. So absolutely killing it. Shout out to them. And when I was talking to Blake today, he revealed something to me that I didn't know, right? Because all of everything we've heard about Arken currently has been about the port to Quest, which I think launches later this month.
Soon, yes, I believe so. I want to say 30th of October, but I think I might be wrong.
Dude, that was the date in my head too. So I think combined,
okay, cool.
We can have a little more confidence about that.
Yeah.
Don't tell us if we're wrong, chat. We're feeling pretty good about this.
So much so they're going to change the release date if we were wrong.
Right. So in my head, like I was like, oh, all hands on deck. That's what Vitruvius is doing right now. The port to Quest. The port to Quest is being handled almost exclusively by Blake himself. And so while the rest of the team, Reece, for the last 7 months, Reece, have been working on Arken Age 2.
Hey!
Mic drop moment. 7 months into the development of Arken Age 2. Fuck yeah. I'm so excited.
It's, do you know what? I remember being on the early playtest of the PSVR one, and that's just filled me with happiness right there, I tell you. That's fucking awesome, that is. I'm going to message Blake after this and be like, dude, just on parole. He just told me the news. What's your address? Let me send you some flowers, man.
Dude, Crumb Colossus says 1,000 PSVR2 reviews for Arken Age. Yeah, I don't want to gloss over that. Dude, the number of PSVR2 games that have double-digit reviews, or low triple-digit reviews. I don't think too many PSVR2 games get to quadruple digits, and so they deserve every bit of it. Though they delivered such a polished, such a great game. It had been so long since I had played a game at launch that just felt like it was ready to play. No bugs.
Make a point as well, like from like a reviewer's perspective, we usually get games sent early. Arken Age was sent in such a great state that when you just load it up, there was next to nothing wrong. Like, and even if it was something that could be fixed in like that. And it was like that with the playtest as well. It was exactly the same with the playtest. They were so on board with hearing absolutely everything. They wanted to know even the little minor detail, like, oh, you saw a little bit of popping texture? Where was it? Cool, we're on that. It was like in terms of their development, it was just 100% transparency. They were so open to hearing any kind of change, and that was great.
But so much more than that, right? Like it wasn't like, oh, this texture over here popped a little bit. It was man, I got lost a lot in the game. I'd love a map, that wasn't over. I want a map that I can see while I'm writing. And they're like, oh yeah, we can do that.
Yeah.
2 weeks later, we had a map.
It was great. It was crazy during that playtest. I remember like jumping in, and then there was like, I saw loads of notes. I threw some notes in, and then I think like within a week, it was like, cool, all that's done. I'm like, the fuck? All that's done in a week? Do you guys not sleep? Like, it was crazy. So I'm hyped. You've made my evening there, Brian. I knew there's a reason to come on the show.
Yeah, I mean that was it. You guys can tune out for the rest of it. It's not going to get better from here. Shout out to Comic Book Guy in the chat with the 2 quid. Says hello, Reece.
Hello. Good day there.
They never care about me. They only care about my co-hosts. I see how it is.
It is nice. I also want to. Can I have a quick shout at Twitcher in the chat? Who keeps saying, he keeps reminding me about Time Carnage.
Time Carnage.
Yeah, you remember that absolute slop? Yeah, he keeps reminding me of that, which I completely forgot all about it, and he mentioned it in the chat today, and I was like, oh my god, no, not that.
Dude, this is the game I'm thinking of, right? Do you go through
the dinosaurs, and then it kind of changed you to an... Yeah, I couldn't go.
It's a stationary wave shooter, right?
Yeah. Bear in mind, I think I bought this as my third PSVR1 game, and I wasn't fully equipped with VR at that time, and I just found it incredibly nauseating. I mean, hell, I think maybe if I jump back in now, I might have different thoughts, but I think the overall impression that it left in me, I was like, it's better just to kind of leave it over there.
Yeah. No, dude, I remember being like, this game is pretty, but it's like another stationary wave shooter. It's not immersive because they have this literal shield up around you, right? It's like nothing about it felt immersive, and I remember kind of shitting on it and getting a lot of crap from people being like, "Oh, it's so much better than you're giving it credit for." So listen, I haven't thought about this game in years, but I'm so happy that when it got brought up again, it was brought up as slop. I was like, okay, that might be even worse than what I thought of it.
And then I think I played it after playing. Do you remember Brookhaven Manor, which was another
Brookhaven experience or experiment?
Yeah, that one.
Right?
That's it. Brookhaven. Yeah, something along them lines.
Which was good.
After that, I didn't mind that one. I thought the guns looked pretty good, and I liked the darkness and all that. And then, I was like, oh, cool. I want another VR game. That's on disc. I'll buy that. And I was like, this just makes no fucking sense to me.
Yeah, I think there was a physical of this. I think this one purpose.
Yeah, that's why I bought it.
Everything on physical. Craziness. All right, man. Let's let's drop into you know what? I was like, the reason that you're here seems like it's slowly becoming less and less important. But let's talk about the reason that you're here. We're gonna skip around on the run of show a little bit because I want to get to the fact that you went and played Thief VR Legacy of Shadow in person. You put the plate for yourself on PSVR2. Listen, while I'm bringing up the footage that Vertigo released today or yesterday, or whatever it was, who the hell cares? How did this go down? Like, was this a Jamie Feltham event? How did this go down?
So yeah, literally, I got messaged from VR Game Showcase inviting me quite early in. I say early in, it's probably like a month prior. Saying, dude, gonna be having a playtest session in London to try out Reach and Thief VR, and I was like, dude, just say the date whenever. I don't care. I'm coming. Like, I don't give it. Like, I'm going. So he gave me a date. I was like, sweet, I'll be there. And then he was like, literally waiting for the details. And he's like, oh, it's, hush, hush for now. And I said to him, I'm going to slightly message Jamie because I know he's nearby. So I messaged Jamie and I was like, dude,
never heard.
He's like, yep, cool. So cool, let's go together. So it was awesome because that's the first time I met Jamie as well. So it's a nice day.
How tall is he? I've been wondering this for a long time.
Taller than me.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
How tall are you?
Yeah. Not that tall, clearly. I'm about, I want to say 5'8", maybe. I can't even remember my own height, but yeah, like literally, I might even be taller than that. But yeah, he was tall. But it was quite funny because I remember I was walking towards him on the platform at the station, and there was a light behind me. And for some reason, he said I kind of looked like Jesus walking towards him. So I've now got that humorous thought of me looking because my beard was shining, the light was going through and everything. So it's pretty humorous just from the get go. But yeah, got to London, popped up in straight away. Jamie was there, Xena was there, had a quick chat with them. Just nice. Overall, very nice atmosphere, greeting us. Had a little chart walking around, making sure everybody got their allotted time. There was an open bar for just free like soft drinks and things like that, and get sandwiches. It was just a very nice venue, very well done.
There were sandwiches? I totally would have gone if they told me there were going to be sandwiches.
Me and Jamie was ready to leave, and they was like, dude, we've just ordered pizzas. And I think they came through with like 30 boxes of pizzas. It was insane. And there's like, there's beer as well. I was like, okay, Jamie, let's quickly munch some pizza and then we'll go run to the train. And I think we must have like ate like a whole box of pizza each and then just kind of scurried out of there. Jamie was like, you sure you don't want to stay for more? I was like, yeah, we're gonna miss you. He's like, do you want to take some sandwiches on the journey? Jamie's like, nah, I'm all right. I went, me being me, I was like, yeah, go on then. I'll take a sandwich and a packet of crisps and drinks. I'm walking out of this. But yeah, absolutely fantastic event. And honestly, if they ever did anything again, I would 100% go, just simply because it was just so managed. Everybody was cared for. They were constantly checking in on us. It was just really well done. But the first game we got to try.
Listen, before you go on, I got to say I think this is the right way to do things. I've been invited to events in the past, like for Fast Travel or End Dreams or whoever it is, being like, hey, would you fly over here to go play this game a month before it comes out? And I'm like, bro, one game. Like, don't make me leave my apartment to play one game. Like, we're literally talking about 3 days, of like packing and traveling and round trip and blah, blah, exactly. Getting back, jet lag, the whole thing. Like, it's just it's for something that like in literally 3 weeks, I'm going to be able to play at home. Right. But I do think that Jamie's onto something here. I think if he has events where you can go and make it worth your while, play multiple games. I think, 3 or more, I think I think I'd fly to the UK to play 3 upcoming games.
Yeah. Well, yeah. That's literally what when me and Jamie sat down with him, we were just saying, this seems like something you've been doing for years, like this event management. It was done so well. When you said to him, like, you should consider doing something similar to what you've said, multiple games, even if like there's some kickback where like a creator may have had to pay like a certain money just to kind of foot the bill for the venue. I don't think anyone would have minded because seriously, like, they must have been out of pocket after that. It was just, when something's generous, but you're like, this is borderlining on too generous, especially when he walked in with all them pizzas. I was like, dude, like, and it wasn't like Pizza Hut pizza. It was like proper Italian, oven style pizza. Oh, mate,
Jamie was furiously cooking at home and making them all.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it was his own pizza place. We didn't know that. But
So you played Reach first, or you played Thief first?
Thief first was the first one. And they did actually say, so I jumped in on a PlayStation that I couldn't record on. So I literally did the tutorial on that. And then they moved me over to another PlayStation, which Game & Tag was on at the time. So they moved me over to that one once he finished on it. They did say to me, do you want to try the Quest version? And stupidly at that time, I said, no, I'm not if I'm going to be playing on the PSVR2, I don't really want to play it on the Quest. I'll just play the PSVR2. And I think if memory serves, it was a 3S they had there as well. So I was like, I'll just jump on the PSVR2 version. And I kind of regret that decision because I have heard some thoughts from the people that have played both versions. And I'll kind of touch on what they've said just to kind of, because I know it'll be a question from some people.
Sure.
So, I mean, literally instantly jumping in, it's a weird one because I've had a few people saying, "Oh, you're being positive about it on purpose." It's not that. It's more so I can see the foundation they've got here, but I can also see that it's not ready. And I've said that in my own video. We've all said that. I said that to them literally in person, and they did say to me there and then, "This is not the final build. We actually have another build back at the office that we haven't brought with us." You know. And I've heard some other people saying some certain bits as well that were in this, like blowing out candles and things like that, and enemies hearing your voice when you talked. I mean, if so, then every enemy should be on me because everyone was talking around us. That mic was not picking up anything. So I think those certain things might be something that's coming in the future. I'm not necessarily too sure. But in terms of like blowing out candles and things like that, that's not something I experienced personally. And with the microphone, there's certainly not causing anyone to come towards me. So I don't think the microphone element was there either.
Well, like you said, it sounds like a horrible event to test it at, so maybe having it off is the best.
I mean, I noticed because Jamie said to me, he's like, "Oh, I was playing it in Snapchat," and I was like, "Did you not just load up the settings straight away and just turn that shit off?" Because I instantly before the game, I was like, "Oh, snap turning." I just quickly loaded it up, turned off the settings. Yep. But yeah, the beginning of the tutorial, I was trying to take it all in at first because I didn't really get like a good feeling straight off the bat. And that's not because of like anything that was happening. It was just like I'm not really too sure what's going on. So I just did anything I would do in any other Thief game that I've played. Just started going around picking up all the gold, anything like that. Because usually gold in a Thief game works as like a scoring system. There's a certain amount hidden in each level. You finish it and you get a scoreboard kind of thing. Cool. And I think in the 2014 reboot, it led to upgrades and stuff like that. So I just went around doing all that kind of stuff. And they did say to me, you know, these are just clash together. You will get a tally at the end and all that kind of stuff of what you've missed in each level and things. So hopefully that all gets added because I was like, this isn't here. This is usually, you know, you usually get told what you found and what you haven't found. And he's like, oh, no, that should be coming. I'm like, okay, brilliant. So I ran around this place, picked up all the loot in there. And then the dev went to me, oh, you can put out the candles with your fingers. And I was like, I've seen the trailer. I know. There's a few moments that the devs pointed out things to me and said, oh, go and try and do this. And I really wish they didn't, not because it isn't cool or anything. It's just simply because it didn't work for me. So I went to go put out the candle and it wasn't working. And the dev was like, oh, that's weird. I'm like, I'm constantly going like this, trying to put out the candle. It wasn't working. So try going a little bit lower. So I've now put my hand inside the candle and it kind of waved my hand back up. So it did work. But he was like, okay, we'll look into that. So I think they were heavily picking up on everything that was going wrong. And by the sounds of it, it was probably me that had quite a lot of issues that I ran into. And I also was the one that broke Reach as well. It's just, I'm notoriously good at breaking demos. So if any dev wants me to do so, just by all means, just reach out. So after that, you get to a point and there's a window. And it's when I climbed through that window, you lift it up from the bottom and you slide it up and pull yourself out the window. And you drop down off this balcony, and that is the minute I felt like it was a Thief game. It instantly gave me, okay, this is a Thief game. This is what I want. From a person who's played the previous Thief games, this is exactly what I want. And I think Ian Higton worded it quite well. It's a game that blends the elements of the original Thief in terms of story, because it links the story from the original Thief to this one. Not so much the reboot. However, it has some of the elements, look, and stylization of the reboot, and it blends the good sides of the reboot, even though some may say there wasn't any, and kind of makes this thing that feels more intriguing story-wise than what the reboot did, but while looking somewhat pretty. And people keep asking, what about Mura?
Yeah, I mean, it's a Vertigo Games game, and the last Vertigo Games game we got was Metro, right? Based on a big IP, and Mura was a massive problem for a lot of people on PSVR2. Not me, but yeah, what about this?
I'm going off memory here, because literally, I don't remember the blacks looking entirely black from my mindset, from what I'm trying to remember here. And it was more so like it did have a little bit of tinge in it, but I don't remember seeing any like notorious Mura in the style of other VR games that we've experienced. I mean, I think the worst state of Mura I've ever experienced was pre-release of Phasmophobia when it first came out, and you went into a corner of the darkness, you could just see it fuzziness. That was the first. That was like the worst Mura I've ever seen. There's nothing like that. I don't remember seeing Mura, but I'm more than happy when it comes out to basically answer that one straight off the bat once we're allowed to do so, because I'm also someone who, if I see it, I'll be like, ugh, kind of thing. And especially in a game like this, it's constantly dark. You've seen all the videos. It's constantly dark. There's barely any lighting. And another thing, I know some people have asked here, I saw it in the chat the other day, they kept mentioning dynamic lighting. And I'm going to be honest with you, even though they said it's meant to be there, I couldn't see any. I couldn't see any lighting coming through the doorways or shadowing as I was going past the lighting or anything like that. It was pretty much a static light around the fire. Even with the flickering of the flames, I didn't see any flickering of lights.
So what about NPCs? Like, as you're being stealthy, walking around them, are they casting shadows on the wall? Like, because I feel like that's what they were alluding to, but I don't know. Again,
that's nothing I don't remember. There's actually one bit in the tutorial where they're standing by this fire, and I have to look back at my footage, but I don't necessarily remember it in the headset. But at the same point, my problem with a lot of these event things is like taking everything in the game while also hearing tons of people around you just all talking. But at the same point, I don't remember any kind of great lighting to the point where I was like, this is fantastic lighting. But then like that's when we got out of it, I kind of said to the dev, I was like, are these going to be added? What's going on about this? And that's when he kind of went over the build, and, you know, more things have been done since then. So part of me is like, be excited for what it is in terms of a Thief game, but definitely wait to hear about that style of stuff on the PSVR2 element side, because I think even though everybody keeps saying, oh, Vertigo game, you've got to bear in mind, this is just published by Vertigo. As far as I was aware, none of the Vertigo team were actually there. It was all Maze Theory.
Yeah, listen, this has sort of been an area of contention since it was first announced. I do think that Maze Theory is the primary developer, but I think Vertigo is assisting. So I don't know if they're using like the Vertigo. Like, what engine does Vertigo usually use for Arizona? And
I think it's Unreal, isn't it? Or is it Unreal? It's Unreal. I think it's Unreal. But I mean, I actually worded this in my video. Even though this is developed by Maze Theory, it 100% feels like a Vertigo game. If you just took away their name and said this is a Vertigo game, I'd be like, okay, cool. If you took away Vertigo, I'd be like, shit, this feels like a Vertigo game. There's no denying it. And like, I know GT, he played the Quest version and the PSVR2 version, and the way he worded it, and I can't really comment on this from experience myself, but he said the Quest version feels more in line with the PSVR2 version, whereas in Metro, the PC version was more in line with the PSVR2 version. Yeah. So that's now the concern is, wait, we now see what the PC version is like, if that's more like the PSVR2 version. Now, again, this might just be because it's the same build they had and they've kind of optimized it for Quest to use it there and there, and they've not done it properly. I don't know. Bear in mind, it's a demo. I'm sure they can pump more out of the optimization because it's not taking up as much memory. Who knows?
So we're fairly certain this is running reprojected then? Was there any question in your mind about that?
I think there's reprojection. I was going to say it's about 90 frames. 90 frames reprojected, I'd probably say. That's how it felt anyway. I also ran into some jank as well.
It would have been 60 reprojected or 90 native. So
sorry, 60. Yeah, 60. My bad. I'm getting my wording wrong.
All good.
Yeah,
just making sure we're clear for everyone in the chat. I know what you're saying.
Yeah, it's one of those two. I mean, there was, especially when using the bow, I felt like it was a bit sluggish. It didn't feel like a native smooth game. And it's something Jamie said, and I'm completely in agreement with him. While both Thief and Reach complemented each other in a very good way, like one was sneaking around, the other one was fast paced. When you compare the two bows, Reach is taking that crown 100%.
I mean, it's
Thief
better.
is not a
right.
incredibly better bow on Reach.
Right.
But I mean, in terms of a Thief game, you're not going to use you're not going to be using your bow a lot. That is literally a deterrent. So sharp arrows, you can use them as like a sound to deter the enemies. The water arrows for fire arrows to set off fire to make the enemy go over there. And then your rope arrow, which again, the devil's like, oh, look for this rope point. You can climb up there and turn off the alarms. I was like, oh, that sounds fantastic, mate. I'm going to go do that. Dilly-dallied over to this rope point. I aimed my rope arrow at it, go to shoot, and I missed the first one. He's like, oh, don't worry, you'll get it on the next one. So I go a little bit closer, and I go to shoot, and literally my bow and arrow just spins out of control. Like, literally all like that on the screen. And the dev just goes to me, oh, that's not meant to be happening. I was like, oh, great. I'm glad we've established that.
Yeah.
But at the same point, like, I got out of it, and I really emphasized that for me, the bow needs work. It does. It felt like the one thing that needed work more so than anything else. And it was like, no, that's all good. We completely understand. We're looking into that and all that kind of stuff. And again, this is a weird one because I feel like everyone I've spoke to from this event and everyone's first impressions video I've seen, I feel like we're all on the same kind of, this game feels like a Thief game. It plays great like a Thief game, but there's still some certain things that need to be ironed out. And until we've played that build where everything's ironed out, I don't know whether to say, guys, be hyped for this. All I can say is be hyped for it being a Thief game because it does feel like that. But I did walk away happy nonetheless because I heard Garrett's voice. I felt like I was back in a Thief game. It hit me in the nostalgia. And I think in some ways I'm probably the worst person to ask about it because it's the same thing with Metro. I loved it because it was a Metro game. I can still see the issues of it, the mirror and things like that. But for me, it hit all the right points. And I feel like Thief is probably going to do the same thing.
Good. Yeah, I mean, everything you're saying explains why we don't have a release date yet, right? Because they obviously have a few things to clean up and get ready for launch, and they don't want to set a release date if they're not 100% confident about it. I would be 1,000% happy if the PSVR2 version got delayed in order to, really make sure that it's as close to the PCVR version as possible. I know people probably don't want to hear that because it's supposed to come out this year, but we got plenty of games coming out this year, right? I think the number of games that we've got coming out is too much for most people. Like the number of games that people want to buy is high. It's not just a good number of games; it's a good number of quality games. So
I'm just trying to have a look at the question, see if I missed anything that they asked or anything like that. Because I did say if there's anything, I feel like it's just all about Mura.
Yeah.
Oh, standing up or sitting down playing Reach. I always play VR standing up. Always. The only time I do it is to test it if I'm basically reviewing something. It's just to test if it works properly sitting down.
I'm with you, except for Surviving Mars. Dude, I played 25 hours of Surviving Mars sitting down.
Yeah.
They almost made it that way, just like quick little wrist flicks and stuff. It was so much. Just take a load off, put your feet up.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's like old Darth saying, the Thief demo was an early build. Yep, I've 100%, that was something they expressed. It was very much, as soon as we got out of the headset, it was like, there is more in it that we want to add, which I've not touched on those things that I want to add because simply I don't want to give people false hope in case they change in the pipeline. But there was loads of things they said they were planning on adding, and I was like, that's everything that I would love to see. And honestly, I am hyped for it. And that's coming from a place of I did enjoy what I played.
Nice.
But yeah, I'd say wait to hear a little bit more, see some more gameplay. I think it's still something to be excited for and look forward to, just simply because it's a full-on stealth game. If you've got the patience for it, then I think you're going to love it.
Do you have any reason to believe that you wouldn't be able to play it sitting down?
No, I don't have any reason to believe you wouldn't be able to play it sitting down.
Just very spooky in the chat. So.
I can't stand up right now. Broken. Oh, okay. Reach can be played sitting down. Fun fact with the actual demo of Reach, it says, please stay seated when it's calibrating you. So there is a seated mode in Reach. A lot of people think with Reach is that you have to go like this to run. You don't. You run with the analog. When you jump, you do have to flick your wrist, but you can just flick them ever so slightly down the side of you. You don't have to, go like that and go mad with it. You just kind of give your wrist a little flick. So that can be played seated as well. Just have your hands on your lap, I suppose, when you're doing that. Yeah, no issues with Reach at all. I'm absolutely hyped for that one. So,
what did that get previewed on? Was that also PSVR2 headsets?
Reach was on a PC with the Quest 3, and like I said, I broke that as well. I decided it'd be fun to jump on the there was an NPC talking to you, I thought it'd be fun to jump on his head because I kept seeing him fly around. So I was like, how awesome would it be if I could fly around on top of this flying statue? And I jumped on his head and it just shot me up to the ceiling. I got stuck in the ceiling. I was like, I was trying to call the dev. I was like, guys. And all of a sudden it just dropped me to the ground. I just like received like 80% fall damage for it. I was like, I'm not doing that again. So it was a good laugh. Because I came out of the headset, I was like, did you have this weird issue in Thief, Jam? And he's like, dude, what is it with you and things? Like every game I've played at an event or something like that, I've always managed to, break it in some way or another. So, but hey, it's good fun,
man. Good. Well, listen, I didn't even play it, and I'm excited for it. I was trying to put people's expectations in check. What other games we should be comparing it to on Monday. And I think by doing so, people thought that like I wasn't excited for the game for some reason. I've never played it. I've never spent any serious time with any Thief game other than like the reboot. And I only played that for like an hour or two.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And again, I think in terms of a VR game, it's not doing anything new or reinventive to excite you. It really isn't. You're climbing walls, you're shooting a bow and arrow, you're hiding in darkness, and you have a gemstone in your hand that's indicating something. Right. But at the same point, when you add all this together in this setting of a world that people are going to appreciate, I think it's nice to see. And the voice acting is great. And the AI is actually surprisingly decent as well. So much so, like when an AI walked over to me and I tried to hide and I threw something over in the corner, and the dev was like, why are you throwing stuff if he's already seen you? I was like, I'm just testing your AI, mate, see if they're dumb enough to walk away and go over to the... He's like, no, fortunately, they're not that bad. I was like, well, I can see that because he's still standing here staring at me. But no, I think for me, I'm happy. I'm excited to play more. But yeah, I want to play more on a newer build just to see what changes from this. And yeah.
Well, let's see. We got... Reach is coming, in October? Is that right?
October 16th.
Okay, and then Thief currently just has a blanket 2025 release window, and so again, all these games, there's a bunch of games that like have been announced with no specific release date that we know are supposed to be coming this year, and those release dates will be kind of dropping here and there over the next month or so. It's going to be kind of crazy as we get new release dates. But as I've been kind of insinuating on Gamescast, there's going to be all these other games that come up out of nowhere, like Rush VR Apex Edition, that not only got announced but also has a release date less than 2 months away, and that happened yet again yesterday with the announcement of Maid of Sker. Everyone pronounces it differently, but I looked it up and it's supposed to be pronounced Sker, which sounds kind of cheesy. I thought Sker just because of how it's spelled. Anyway, Maid of Sker VR got announced yesterday. This is a game that came out all the way back in 2021, I think, on the flat screen. And I saw Wes talking about how he had hit up the developers and been like, telling them what a great game this would be in VR. And here we are 4 years later, and they're finally bringing it over, and it's coming out in November. It's almost here. I love this shit, man. I don't announce a game and then keep me waiting for 2 years. Aces of Thunder. Let's just get this over with. Let's announce your game and then bring it out. Let's go. You interested in this at all?
I am, because it's one that I never got around to playing. I do own it on Steam, as we established before the show started. So I think I'm going to jump in and play it just for like 10 minutes to see what it's like. But I've got to be honest, when the trailer was played, I was instantly pissed off because they've used a 5-year-old trailer of the non-VR game with no VR capabilities shown at all. And I was like, if any other dev did this, like I thought more people would be raging. There's me watching this going, this is a 5-year-old trailer, and everybody's like, this is coming into VR. I'm like, yeah, but what are they showing that's different here? So I got a little bit pissy in my own mind. I was like, okay, right, maybe they just don't have the footage yet. But I'm also a firm believer of don't announce your game until you have some footage to show, because going off a 5-year-old trailer with the same audio, with this exact everything's the same apart from the accolades being shown. And I was like, that's just fucking lazy. Respect. I'm glad you're bringing it over. I definitely do want to get around to trying it. So I am excited, because another horror game. I'm not going to ever say no to horror games.
Yeah. It was funny because a few people picked up on what you just said, and in the comments of my re-upload of the trailer, people were like, be wary of this. This does not look like a VR game. And it was like, okay, listen, they're announcing that they have, there are stages of announcing your game, even if you do it in such a short period of time like they're doing here. They're releasing it in November, so it's literally anywhere from a month to 2 months away, and they just announced it yesterday, right? So give them a minute, and then
I would have been
yeah.
From my perspective, if it was like an announcement show, I would have been more excited and happier if they literally just did the bit where like the enemy's scouting for you, and you just see like a hands go up, like you can see that it's VR hands, and then just cover the mouth, and then kind of fade to black or something. I'd be like, instantly, I would have known what the game is. Instantly, I would have seen that, oh, that's VR movement, and then just kind of, just made Sker VR. I think that would have done more for me than a minute trailer or whatever it was of a trailer I saw 5 years ago. And weirdly enough, instantly remembered when I saw it. I was like, I remember this. I've seen this before. And I was like, this ain't. So I think for me, that probably would have done better. But I do get what you mean. Like at the same point, like they're just building hype for it, and hopefully we'll see something soon. Even if it's like a 30-second clip, I'm hoping so. But yeah, I always remember Maid Sker getting quite, I won't say it was favourable, or like some people liked it. Like I said, I never ended up playing it, but I'm tempted just for that one reason now.
The reviews on Steam are a little bit mixed, but I do agree with you. I do think it'll be great when they show a lot of hand interactions, like interacting with items and putting your hands over your mouth and kind of take the stealthy thing, hiding behind items in the trailer. And so, like, I think showing like, is this all going to be button presses? Like, are they doing a VRAF kind of thing? Like, what exactly are their plans here? And so, like, if it's just the first person game and you're just pushing buttons for interactions, fine. But like, yeah, it would be nice for us to find out if we're just pushing buttons or we're actually doing these things ourselves. So it'll be interesting to see how that evolves over the next month. I'm sure we're going to see at least one more trailer with hopefully VR footage. But I just went over to Steam. And the first two reviews are interesting. Machman has 5.1 hours on record. He gives it a thumbs down, not recommended. This is for, again, the flat screen game. He says, a really short game. I finished in less than 4 hours. Maid of Sker doesn't feel like it was made with story in mind. Despite an interesting premise and good cutscenes, the plot feels unnecessary and the ending just adds confusion to it. Stealth is clunky, monotonous, and way too easy. Enemies follow predictable patterns. Avoiding them mostly means holding control when they're nearby and holding your breath, even when they're even closer. While playing, I had a lot of associations with Forbidden Siren. Interesting comparison, except this game lacked that difficulty and standout interesting mechanics. He says, that said, I do have to praise the atmosphere of some locations. The game starts with beautiful views, but quickly shifts into a sense of unease. When I started playing, that atmosphere set my expectations, which were later shattered. And then the next person has about the same number of hours on record and says they do recommend it, but they also have a fair list of complaints as well, including the story, which is a little bit of a bummer. But
it's still overall very positive, isn't it? Out of 1,655 reviews, which isn't too bad.
Very positive. I'll take it. And honestly, Reece, this is something we talk about a lot. I was playing Dead Island 2, flat screen, obviously. And I was like, man, this is such a 7 out of 10 game at best on the flat screen. I feel like if it was in VR, it would legit be like a 9, 10 out of 10, something like way more in that range. VR just makes everything better, right?
It does.
It's such an easy way to make your game more enjoyable, more immersive, more fun. And so hopefully Wales Interactive capitalizes on what VR offers. And this game, which sounds like a 7 out of 10 at best, could very well be much better than that in VR.
Exactly. And I mean, it goes back to, like I said, I mentioned Trenches at the beginning of the show. So I opted to try that in non-VR just to kind of get a feel for it. And I think I played it for like maybe 30 minutes, close to an hour. And I was like, that's enough for me. Because I didn't get through it. I got lost. It's very much a bit of a maze in its sense. So I was like, okay, I'm going to wait for the VR version because I think I'm going to enjoy it a lot more if I do that. So...
Not sure. Brondo with the $10 tip says, so much great VR news lately. Life is good. Man, it has been really good. Like it's been, I think, it's been great to be a PSVR2 gamer. Like, I already brought it up, but Rush VR getting announced, we haven't even seen what that game looks like. We have no idea what you just insta buy.
For Binary Mill, I think after Into Black, literally I I feel like I'm just going to give them my pin for my credit, my card, and just be like, cool. Whenever you release a game, just take the money instantly. I think Into Black's pretty much stole part of the year for me. So I think anything from them now is just going to be, I'd be shocked if they let me down.
I would be too. Like, Into Black for sure. Resist, I thought looked even better. Felt even more polished. They understand fun traversal in VR, and they were here
good
so long ago with Rush, like with the wingsuit racing, and so I have complete faith that this is going to be great. It quickly shot up to one of my most anticipated titles of the year, seconds after it got announced. So, good stuff. We got Nihilist Ryan, the game feline, with the $5, says Thief, hype, Rush, hype, Flight Sim, hype, Ace of Thunder, eventual hype, Maid of Sker, hype. Bro, Ace of Thunder's never coming out. Can we all agree on that? No. I just turned into the internet in front of your eyes.
It's literally, I think with Ace of Thunder at this point, like when I mention it every time, I have to make a joke about it. Like it's just become a troll for us all.
Yep.
And I'm hyped for it. I am. But even though I'm not a big fan of flying games, I'm hyped to try one. But at the same point, I'm like, when? Because by the time it's going to arrive, I feel like I'm going to be knee deep in like 6 other games that I've been excited to play before anyway.
Yeah.
And that's the problem. And I think again, I also agree with what a lot of people have said, where you announce a game too soon, and then you're pushing it back by 6 to 8 months or even more.
Yep.
By the time it arrives, you like, I don't really care. Do you know what I mean? Kind of thing. It's a shame.
It looks so good, though. I gotta say, like every time
it does.
Anytime the conversation of Aces of Thunder comes up, I go, yeah, I'm tired of talking about it. I can't. My hype train is completely derailed. I'm excited for it. I know it's coming out. It's probably coming out at the end of this month. Great, wonderful, awesome. But then I see the trailer, and I'm gonna be running it 90 native, and it gives me an excuse to finally open my Amazon box with the HOTAS over there. Like, yeah, I'm excited.
You and your fucking boxes everywhere, I tell you. Last time it was the B Haptics box, which I think you finally used, haven't you? You have used it now, right?
No, just open the box. Yeah.
But no, literally, I think I'm the same as you. Every time I see a trailer, I'm like, oh, cool.
Yeah, somebody should take over this channel for me. Obviously, I have no idea how to run it.
I think you're doing just fine, buddy.
Thanks. Nihilist Ryan says, oh no, Rhodey said Aces of Thunder is the golem of PSVR2. Listen, I think Undead Citadel was the golem of PSVR2, right? It was like there were people. Dude, AJ at one point was like, "This game's never coming out." Like 2 months before it came out, he was like, "This game's never coming out." I was like, "Come on!" It gets exhausting.
I bought a PC and got into PSVR to try Undead Citadel before it even came out. And that wasn't the only reason, but like I jumped into Undead Citadel on PC, and I was like, even when I played that, I was like, "It's still ain't coming out on PSVR2. Like, it's not coming."
Yeah. But really good stuff. Lots of Nihilist Ryan is right. Lots of hype. Lots of good stuff happening. And that makes me so happy. So sometimes we go through little droughts.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah. Oh, anyone who's having audio issues, refresh. It's not on our end. It's YouTube being YouTube. We go through little droughts, and it can get like really depressing. It's like, come on, where are the announcements? And then you enter, September, October of any year, and suddenly shit hits the fan, and it's like, this is crazy. Video games are back. Comic book guy with the £5 says, isn't Maid of Sker also by the developers who made Don't Knock Twice? Yes. Well, it's Wales Interactive. I don't know if they're the publishers or the developers.
Good point.
Maid of Sker is developed by Wales. Let me double check. Don't Knock Twice.
No, developer, and on Steam it says developer and publisher down as Wales Interactive.
There we go. So yeah, they and dude, Don't Knock Twice was decent. Like especially for the time, it was a standard, straightforward haunted house, scary game. Decent story. And they made, I will say, they made some really solid additions after the game launched. I'm pretty sure, if I remember correctly, it didn't have smooth turning, it didn't have move support, and they added all that and made it a really competent game. I hope I remember that correctly.
They've done quite a few VR games. They obviously did Time Carnage, which the less said the better.
Carnage. Sorry.
They did Soul Axiom rebooted, which I'd never played.
That
actually looks pretty. Yeah, it does too. It actually looks pretty good. I might pick it up. It's on sale on Steam at the moment. Let's add that to the cart. Sorry, let's get back to the show before I start buying stuff.
All right, man. So listen,
Let's move on.
yeah, it's really really exciting. And also let me know. I feel kind of cheap when I just re-upload a trailer. But like sometimes I'm in the middle of something and I don't have time to make a three hour edit or script for a for a 2-minute breaking news report. So let me know if does anybody care? Is it cool if I just re-upload trailers? Is that fine? I just want without parole. It's like if you like PSVR2, like here's everything you need to know in some way, shape, or form. So
I'm all for it. I think after I saw you do it, I was like, John, that's such a great idea. Like, because I've had, it's like if somebody else might see the trailer somewhere else, but people that follow you are going to spot it here. So I think it's a great idea, personally.
It's the fastest way to get the information to the Gamecast, which is
exactly
which is my goal. You don't need to hear me talking about it. But anyway, all right. Listen, the headline of the show is upon us, dude. For the last 2 weeks on PSVR this week, I put Blacktop Hoops in because like the PlayStation Store says 9/2025. It's coming out sometime this month. But usually when you get to the last week of the month and the game's still not out and it says 9/2025, it's not coming out. They just haven't changed the release date yet. They haven't updated the store listing. And so I didn't actually expect Blacktop Hoops to launch the last day of September. But guess what? It did. And here's the other thing. I also didn't expect it to be good if they were just going to stealth drop it with like no review keys and no information and just whatever. It
was so odd.
But dude, I think it's good. I think it's a good game. I'm having a lot of fun with it. And it's running at 90 frames native as far as I can tell. It doesn't have smooth turning, which is really strange.
Because it doesn't Quest.
Well, okay. So my theory on this, and I think somebody stole my theory. I think somebody stole my theory and put it up on Reddit. I posted this on.
That's my theory.
I posted this on Discord yesterday. I will bet anyone a pizza that the reason we don't have smooth turning in this game is because it made somebody at Sony sick. Like it was right. Like it was in there, and it was they were trying to go through cert, and they said right. And it made somebody at Sony sick, and they said, "Fine, we'll just fucking rip it out. We'll rip out smooth turning if it's making your one tester sick." And then they passed certification because they just ripped out smooth turning. And so I hope this is my guess because we've heard it happen before. Okay, we've heard it happen before. That it's not like I just pulled a wild theory out of my ass. It's because we've heard developers say this. Right, the testers at Sony are fucking ridiculous. Right? The people they're using have no VR legs. And then they have to honor these requests to get through cert. And so I guarantee you there was smooth turning and I'm sure it was fine. And then Sony made him take it out. So my bet is that we can get a patch. My bet is that we can get this back in to the game but I can't get in touch with them. I've used multiple email addresses. They don't seem to have any social media accounts. I cannot get in touch with them for the life of me. And so I'd love to find out.
Discord the other day, and I couldn't even find someone in there to chat to either. And it's weird because when it released on Quest, they were incredibly responsive to everyone, like reaching out and things like that. Really? So it's a complete difference here. Yeah, they were. I remember being brought into a play test for it, and that's how I first got to try the game. Because somebody's like, I'm doing a review of this. We've got like 8 keys to try and fill out a lobby to all play together. Do you want to join in? I was like, yeah, that sounds fun. I never tried basketball in VR. Why not? And they were very responsive to press and creators to try and get people involved to check out this game. And then when the PSVR2 when released, I dropped them an email. I want to say when it first popped up on the store, heard nothing. Followed up like a month later, nothing. Followed up again like 2 weeks before release, nothing. Again like 2 days before release. I was like, this is odd. So I was nervous, but I'm happy that you've said it plays fine. And I did, because somebody in the Discord today was asking about the smooth turning. And I will say, with the smooth turning, it's not your traditional smooth turning. Like with most smooth turning, it feels like you're actually turning like you would in real life.
Yeah.
With the smooth turning in this, it kind of feels like you're going around in a circle. Similar to like Windlands 2 smooth turning, if you remember how that was.
Oh, yeah. So you're pivoting. Yeah. I got it.
Yeah, which for me, I'm not a big fan of. So I can understand why some people might be like, ooh, straight off the bat with that one.
That's why the tester got sick. We figured it out.
Figured it out, yeah. And I got to admit, like, load it back up on Quest. I do not remember it having that much anti-aliasing. So please tell me if there's any anti-aliasing on PS. None.
It looks great. It does. Listen, the resolution is great. I think it's nice. It's nice and clear. Like I said, 90 frames native. It feels like that at least. And so everything's really smooth. I think the lighting is really nice. It looks. It's just it's a good looking game, and so right here, what you're seeing is me playing against Samson 1v1. I want to talk to Samson. That's right. And unfortunately, I haven't been able to get a bigger game together. There's no crossplay, and I haven't been able to go into any public lobbies where their people are at. And I don't know if anybody's bought it on PSVR2. Shocker, because it just stealth dropped and there's no reviews. So I think people are a little bit nervous about the $35 price tag. Yeah, and so but dude, I had so much fun playing this that and I'm getting my ass kicked by Samson here, and I am committing so many fouls.
He's a quest player, isn't he? He's a quest player. That's why he's played this before. Look at him. He knows what he's doing.
He does know what he's doing, and I am just like invading his personal space like no tomorrow, man. Like I'm just like jamming my hands through his body trying to steal that fucking ball, and sometimes it works. But it's fun. It's fun. It's a little chaotic. We're playing on the casual setting, which is. Which again, I don't think very, very lax rules when it comes to dribbling and fouls and all that. But I do want to work my way up to the harder difficulties where you have to play by the rules a little bit more. But it's fun, dude. It's fun. I'm really enjoying this.
So I'm glad you got to experience the multiplayer because that's the main grit of what I played. I did 2v2 when I first tried it, and damn, I can't remember who exactly was playing. I know Alex, one of the previous hosts on Crossbutton VR at the time, he was in there with me. And so we walked away from that game just incredibly sweaty and just a big smile on our face. It was incredibly fun because basketball games in VR is not something that you usually get. And it worked so well. And we was like, this is fantastic. So we all walked away just laughing. It was just a really good time. And at that point, I remember when I first played it, and I actually messaged one of the other hosts on the Crossbutton at the time, Ben. He absolutely loves basketball. And we were laughing. I was like, dude, this is the game you're going to want on PSVR2 if it ever arrives. And he's like, I'm down for that. And comes to PSVR2, he's not playing PSVR anymore. He's completely lost interest in VR, bless him. So I was like, damn. But I loved it. I had an absolute blast of it. But I haven't played much of the campaign. I played a little bit of it. It kind of works a bit similar to like FIFA in a way. With like, you have your little hut, and then you kind of do little missions. Not missions, but you do little different courses and things like that, which didn't really... It was the multiplayer that got me. This type of game with friends is just what you want.
Yeah, I'm I'm also working my way through the casual campaign. There's 4 different campaigns for the 4 different difficulties, and they're taking their time and teaching me shit.
I think it's like 3 levels of teaching you shit.
Yeah, it goes on for a while, and so which is good. Which means the gameplay is a little bit deeper than it seems at first. I will say it feels strange when you first get in there. It's like there's a learning curve because when you're trying to dribble the ball, sometimes the ball feels too sticky, right? It's almost like there's too much dribble assist, right? It's always like kind of sticking to your hand, and it's like, but you get used to it, and the game is designed for you to not be looking at the ball while you're playing. But currently, that's what I'm doing, right? Because I'm still getting used to it. So I'm looking at the ball, but when you're just kind of like keeping your hand up and trying to keep the other player away or whatever it is, like it feels really, really good to be able to dribble without looking at the ball and kind of like pass it between your legs and do all these tricks, which are basically leveling up the ball, right? So it does turn into NBA Jam style, but the ball's on fire, blue flames, and and then suddenly like it's powered up, so you can kind of toss it from anywhere on the court and get it in. It's so satisfying. It's so satisfying to shoot from afar. It's so satisfying to do a layup. It's so satisfying to dunk the ball. Like they just kind of nailed the fun aspect of this. But it kind of sucks.
That's what blew my mind on Quest though. When I first played it, was bouncing the ball in between your legs and going behind your back and all that kind of stuff, and not seeing it all go out of control and breaking or anything like that. I think that's what got me. So But what sucks about it? Go on, Brian. I cut you off. I'm sorry.
No. It just sucks that it's good, dude. I need to get some cats to play this with. right? Because I feel like I'm not getting the full experience right now. I need to play 3v3 and like as soon as possible. If anybody's buying the game tonight, just let me know. Let me know. Let's play. Let's help me get this review done, because I'm definitely I'm way more invested in this than the other games that I'm playing right now. And so I redacted.
It's bad because carry on.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm having a blast with this, and so I do show some. I do go and try out some of the other courts, and the other courts look good. The stadium one has like this massive reflection on the store, as the stadium courts do, but it's reflecting the wrong thing. It's reflecting the floor instead of the ceiling. So I don't know what they did, but it's very strange. It still looks good, but when you pay attention, you're like, wait a minute, why is there a fucking basketball court in the reflection of the basketball court? It's very strange.
Yeah.
But there's some fantastic ones too. Like when I say fantastic, I mean fantasy inspired ones. Like there's underwater ones. There's one where you're playing in limbo. It's all darkness and purple around you. It's really cool. It's really cool. The only thing I'm unsure about right now is it going to feel like it's worth the $35 price point content-wise?
I think that's the worry, isn't it, really? Especially a game where we're both saying the multiplayer felt fun and it's not crossplay. And I think that's a right kicker.
Yeah.
Apparently there's a community that still plays this on Quest. Like, I thought this... Again, like, even on Quest, I thought this would have died after like 6 months. Apparently not. Apparently it's still going.
You know what's happening again, right? Obviously, the developer would have loved to put in crossplay, but PlayStation makes that difficult. So they're like, fuck it, maybe we'll put it in later. We'll see. But dude, the number of developers I talked to that say PlayStation makes it impossible, and it's not worth the time or the money or the effort if like it's, you know, if it's not going to actually sell more copies, if it's not going to actually rope more players in. Again, I haven't talked to Vinci Games because no one knows how to get in touch with them. So I don't know if that's their take on it too. I'm going to send a carrier pigeon
to them tomorrow. I tell you, I'm going to like line a pigeon up and just send it straight to their postal address and see what happens. Yeah.
Anyway, first impressions, great. It may be a little expensive, but again, I think the campaign so far is fun. The multiplayer has been fun. I just need to really play more and put it through its paces. So we'll be keeping you posted on that one. That's but so far so good. Very impressed.
And if Vinci Games wants to come on and speak to Brian, I mean, come on.
No, just email me. Email
me. Yeah, just email him. Well, they'd have to. They'd have to do that first, mate.
Yeah. No, I got a list of developers that I want on the show long before Vinci Games comes on.
That's valid.
Hype Phase with the Canadian $20 says, "Hey Brian, welcome Reece. You put a huge smile on my face on a so-so day when you reminded me that Arken Age 2 is being worked on. And that Rush, my first VR crush, is almost here. Thanks for what you do for the VR community." I mean, thanks for being here. I don't know. I just talk and stuff.
Talking stuff. You amuse people, my friend.
What, you think I'm funny? You think I'm funny?
Think I'm funny, bub? Huh?
Thanks for the support, Hype Phase. We really appreciate you guys keeping the lights on. Makes the world of difference. Ghostface Gamer Cat sent 20 without Parole gift memberships. I saw all the green cats in the chat lighting up, all gifted without Parole memberships. Thank you, dude. Thank you so much. Your generosity does not go unnoticed, as does Twitcher, the single player game cat, who sent 1 without Parole gift membership, as did Shapeshifter. Fuck. I hate when things move when I don't tell them to. Shapeshifter, the Anomaly Game Cat Rare, sent 5 without Parole gift memberships. Holy crap, man. We're up to 26 gift memberships today. That's crazy. Everyone in the chat should be green. No, lots of grays. Oh, well. What can you do? Thank you, guys. You're amazing. Comic book guy with the 10 quid says, been thinking with Alien Rogue Incursion getting a flat screen mode. What are the chances of a part 2 having a VR mode? Also, do you think I should resend an email about that graphics glitch I had?
I'd love to answer this one.
Yeah, talk to me, man. Tell me all about your thoughts on Alien Rogue Incursion Chapter 2.
I hope it only gets a VR mode, because after playing the Evolved Edition, what was the fucking point?
Bro, this is the epitome of what I was saying before about Dead Island 2 being a 7 out of 10 game and then bringing it to VR being 9 or 10 out of 10. You can't go backwards. It almost never works, right? Because the flaws in the game, which I actually recognized while playing through Alien Rogue Incursion, having being like very shallow and having it be very repetitive environments and it just like repetitive enemies as any Alien game would have. Those shine so much brighter, which means the game will review poorer on the flat screen because you're not in there and experiencing it for yourself. That Alien threat. It feels like we have two different standards. It feels like we have two different standards for VR versus flat screen games, but it's just a feeling overall when you're playing it of enjoyment versus not enjoyment. And so when I saw reviews of the flat screen version, and they were echoing every single one of my complaints, but to the point where they were like, "Don't even buy it. They're not offering anything interesting here."
Really?
Yeah.
Damn, they were going that far. See, that was the thing. Like when I was playing the Evolved edition, which it should not be called that. First of all, I was like, okay, cool. I know I'm going to like it because I enjoyed the story, but let's crack on and see how the gun feels. It feels so double A. Like, I mean, it's clunky. It feels clunky. It feels fairly cheap. And it's to the point where you can tell you can tell they've either went over the top with interaction or this was a VR game before. Because everything is interactable. You can pick up a helmet, which you can't put on your head or do anything with. You can pick up a photo, but you can just throw it to the floor. And one thing that shocked me, I didn't think for a second in the flat version they were going to make the aliens sink into the floor and dissolve. Why are they still dissolving? I always to myself was going, they've probably done that because it might be a limitation of like VR and everything kind of all powering at once in 3D. Maybe that's why they've done it. No, clearly not. And I ran into a bug within the first 10 minutes of playing as well, which I never had. I did the puzzle, which the puzzles feel all falling flat as well.
And then why wouldn't they?
It froze me to the point where I couldn't turn right next to a save point. So I had to use the dash mechanic to try and get to the save point because I couldn't turn. And I was like, cool, that's enough for me. Back to VR. It was just, I don't know why. I get they've probably done it to try and make money, but I think it's also going to really poorly reflect on them as developers in some sense of what they've made here. And while Rogue Incursion was fun, it probably wasn't the best game for everyone. It was still a decent Alien game, and being immersed in that world was fantastic.
Yep.
But when you play the other version, you're constantly going, it's not as good as Isolation, but at least it's not Colonial Marines. And when you're saying at least it's not Colonial Marines, it's not really a compliment in any way because you'd hope that's the bottom bar of any Alien release. So, yeah. That's my 2 cents on that one. I feel quite heavily on that one when I played it. I was like, what the
Headbite says, don't shit on it. People are enjoying it. Not everyone. Like, some people are absolutely seeing through the cracks. And listen, this is not the first time Survios has done this. They brought Creed to the flat screen as well. Did not get good reviews. Sold like fucking crazy. And so they're making money doing this. This will also sell like crazy for the Alien IP alone, right? And so good for them. I'm happy that they're doing what it takes in order to continue making VR games. And so if sometimes bringing a VR game that is less than flattering when it hits the flat screen is the way to pay the bills, then fine, do it. But I really this isn't what we mean by hybrid games. This is the opposite of what we mean by hybrid games. So I'm not, I really enjoyed Rogue Incursion. I thought it was a great 7 out of 10 game, and just thought, hey, this is really fun. I can't wait for part 2.
Which we didn't expect, but go on.
True, but is anybody who plays the flat screen version, which again I think will sell really well, far more than the VR version, is anybody who plays? Yeah, they're not going to be that excited for part 2, and Survios isn't going to recognize that, and they're going to make part 2 for flat screen as well, and maybe they'll even try to release it simultaneously. This was the goal, by the way. This was the goal all along when Alien Rogue Incursion was first announced for VR. It was announced as a hybrid title.
Was it? I don't even remember that.
The very first announcement was that they were making it for flat screen and VR. So this wasn't like a, hey, cheap cash in.
I don't remember that. Swear.
This was the plan all along.
I mean, if you put it all aside and you like minus out the glitch I experienced within 10 minutes, which totally shouldn't have been there. Like, it looks great. It looks absolutely fine, you know, apart from the aliens sinking into the ground. And I think some people are going to get somewhat enjoyment from it. But I can't deny the fact that I've played this in VR, which is the better version, the better way to play it. And it made it really difficult to find so much enjoyment in a game that I enjoyed before. So, but yeah, I hope other people are experiencing it and having good fun with it. But for me, go out and buy the VR version. You haven't played that one.
Yeah. Hopefully we get the flamethrower in the second game.
We can only hope.
Yeah. Some more variety too. I need some variety in those environments. That was really holding it back for me. That was also what held Arken Age back for me. You know, as much as I loved Arken Age, like, fucking dude, I'm sick of this green. Too much green. I want some gray.
I think with Alien, I wanted more like the basement where you got like the hives and things like that. I wanted more of that. They were terrifying, so I wanted more of those. Yeah. And then it just took me back up to go back and retrieve this. Now come back to the ship. Go back and retrieve this. I was like, okay, now you're starting to kill me. That's what actually lost a few points for me, was them doing that, the retrieval missions. Yeah.
The second part of your question, comic book guy, about should you resend an email about the graphics glitch you had? I mean, doesn't hurt. I don't know what to tell you though. I have no advice. I have no idea who is reading the emails at Servios.
I would ask, does anyone know if the medbay glitch is still there, or did they ever fix that?
What's the medbay glitch?
So after you finish the bit where you go across that bridge, you go into the medbay area. Mm-hmm. If the alien even steps foot into the actual hangar where you put the cell in, it freezes the game and crashes it completely. And then you have to close out the game and load it back up. And the only way to fix it is once you've killed the aliens, before you kill the aliens, go jump off the bridge and then play it, and it works. I said that to them countless times, and it was like, oh, we've never had that. I was like, okay, cool. But I have. And I don't know if I can continue the game. It's pretty much broke. I can't go through the door. And I end up fixing it and figuring it out. So,
all right, man. You know what time it is. It's time.
Yeah, let's do that.
Time for a little 4-minute challenge, guys. You know how this works. Reece is hosting this one. It's he's picked a PSVR1 or PSVR2 game, and it's up to us and me to figure out what game that is. We have an infinite number of yes or no questions to ask, but only 4 minutes to ask them in. I'm confused by Ace Diaz in the chat. He says, damn PSVR Parole, you in love with VR? Yeah, I am. I love VR. It's the only thing. It's saved gaming for me. Big time. Ace Diaz. Yeah. Saved gaming.
Yeah, it's magical. It's
flat screen gaming was getting boring. VR saved it for me. I was like, I've been playing all my life. I was 35 years old when VR came around, and I was like, this is what I've been waiting for my whole life. And yeah, I've got a much better mix going on, I think, these days.
I've found that recently.
Stepping away from flat screen gaming for a while was really nice. And so now I do have a healthy mix of flat screen gaming and VR and retro gaming. And I've sort of fallen back in love with my hobbies, which is such a great thing because it's very easy, I think, to burn out and just be like, I fucking don't even like games anymore.
That's what we discussed before. And I think ever since me and you had that chat of like burnout, especially with playing so many different games, something has never ranged truer in my eyes than that conversation we had. Because I was like, damn, he's right. I don't even know some of the games I'm enjoying when I'm playing anymore. I'm like, this was a good game, but did I have fun? Really made me question everything.
So help me out, guys. Contribute good questions in the chat, and then based on the answers we get from Reece, suggest good games, or any game that he might have picked. I have a feeling he's gone hard mode on us. So,
maybe.
Ruh-roh. All right, you guys. I'm going to bring up the timer. 4 minutes on the clock. The clock up on the counter the way that Jeremy likes it. On your mark. Get Des. Go. Is this on PSVR 1?
No.
Okay. Is it on Quest or Steam?
Yes.
Okay. PSVR 2, not exclusive. Is it played in first person?
Yes.
Are there any third person elements?
No.
Is there any multiplayer?
No.
Single player. All right.
I mean, I could say define multiplayer, but
okay. Yeah, any actual multiplayer. I mean, sometimes there's like leaderboards and shit. Are there leaderboards?
Okay. Leaderboards, yes.
There's leaderboards. Okay.
Yeah, because I know multiplayer sometimes people put that into multiplayer. But go on.
So if there's leaderboards, it means it could be kind of like arcade based. Fuck. Okay, help us. Chaos asks if it's a launch title for PSVR2.
No.
Okay. Does it have any rhythm elements?
No.
Looper says, did it get a sequel announced today?
No.
I don't even know what that was.
What sequel got announced? We'll come back to that.
Know. Is there any combat as Ghostface Gamercat?
Yes.
Melee?
No, not really.
Do you shoot guns?
Yes.
Do you shoot? Are there any other weapons other than guns?
Yes.
Bows and arrows or crossbows?
No.
No multiplayer. Can't be Windlands 2, Silver Nexus. Is it a sports game, S-Looper?
No.
Sci-fi?
Yes.
Whoa. Okay. Sci-fi. Kramer 3K says, is it like a game that would be in contention for a top 25 list?
Mine, yes, not yours.
Whoa, what just happened? Somebody triggered something that... Are there zombies?
No.
Shit. It can't be Metal Hellsinger. He said there's no rhythm elements. Do you swing around?
No.
Is there swimming?
No.
It's not hubris, you guys. Is it cartoony, as Chrome Colossus?
Yes.
It is cartoony. It's cartoony. Fuck. Has this developer released more than one game on PSVR 2?
No.
Guys, we're running out of time. We're running out of options. Looper is asking if does it consist of separate levels? He's got something in mind.
Yes, there's different levels.
Okay. Was it published by Endreams?
No.
God. Not Vendetta. I'm so at a loss right now. Does it use voxel art?
No.
Fuck. It's not Paint the Town Red. Looper's onto something. He says, do you teleport when you grab a weapon? Oh, that's Vendetta Forever. Nope. It's not Zombieland. There's no zombies. Does it have full locomotion?
No.
Yo, okay. So is it node-to-node teleportation?
Yes.
I'm just going to guess. Gabe Cat says, is it Tiger Blade?
No.
No! I'm so sorry. It broke the winning streak. What is it? Oh, no.
Captain Toonhead versus the punks from outer space.
Oh, my fucking... Unbelievable.
Although somebody said Tiger Blade was good, fucking have to agree with that. Great game. Although I nearly broke my PSVR2 controller on that game. But yeah, Captain Toonhead versus the punks from outer space, if anyone didn't hear.
The streak is over. Long live the streak.
I was like, I had two games in mind to select. No, only smooth turn. It's no teleportation.
Oh my god! This one I've just been sitting on my hard drive for like a year now.
Nick says play it, Brian. I urge you, literally. Yeah. I genuinely, I don't know. It struck a chord with me. I love it.
Man,
for me, no, that's right. I mean, that's the beauty of people that get to play all the different games. I think you find ones that just for some reason stick with you, and for me, that was one that genuinely I love tower defense games. I grew up playing them, and for me, it struck a chord. I loved it.
Yeah, listen, not top 25 for me because I haven't really played it, so I have no opinion on it. Damn. Distracted says this game good. Obviously, it's in Reese's top 25.
It's not for everyone, but for me, I loved it. I ended up like getting Jamie to try it. Miles, I ended up getting him to try it as well. So I know it was at PAX that time when you all went there, but nobody's like man in the booth or something like that, wasn't it?
Yeah. It's so funny. Every time we went down to PAX, there was like another group of cats like manning the booth. It was like it was like I stopped in at a couple places every single day, and it was like the boba food truck in order to get my daily boba. Some of the VR booths. Yeah, and then and then the Captain Toonhead booth just to see which game cats were manning the booth that day. That was a team effort. Damn.
I love it though. Jeez, thanks, Reece. There went the streak. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to, I wanted to give him something difficult, but at the same point, like I said to him before I start, there was 2 games I had in mind to give him that I thought would destroy the streak. There was this one, and even I've forgotten the bloody name of it. The voxel art horror game, bit like Silent Hill. What was it called? On PSVR2.
I mean, Oregon Quarter, but not voxel art.
That's the one. It's a bit voxely, isn't it? Bit
squarey. It's like retro inspired.
The boss is a bit squarey to me, but yeah, there were the 2 I had to mind. I was like, no, I think this is the one that's gonna destroy him. So yeah, and it was fun. It's a laugh. So yeah, please, anyone in chat, if definitely have a look at it, pick it up if it tickles your fancy, I suppose.
Guys, just want to let everybody know that we are working on planning GameCat Meetup 2026. Plans are moving in action, trying to figure some shit out. If anybody out there has specific things that they really, really want to see in Vegas, if there's any gaming events that you feel like maybe we're not paying attention to, that's something that's going to really satisfy as many people as possible. PAX was decent in Boston, but we're trying to do something. Plan the Vegas GameCat meetup around something. Either just as universally loved, or it's obviously there's just not a lot of VR conventions, and so that's really difficult. But if anybody does have any input, like make your voice heard, man. Like come over to Discord and let us know, because we are trying to plan it. We're trying to figure out some dates. We're trying to figure out what the best convention to sort it around would be. And Ben, I got to tell you, insanely cheap compared to Boston. The hotels are about 20% the price, right? 80% cheaper. The events are, not even like less than half the price. It's going to be so much less expensive to come to GameCat Meetup 2026 than it was 2025. So if you've been waiting, this is probably going to be the one to go to. It's going to be great.
Sounds awesome.
Yeah, you're going to be there, right?
Come to the UK. That would be nice, wouldn't it?
I will. I'll come to the UK next time there's a game that I need
a VR game showcase meetup. Yeah.
So if somebody's flying me over, if they're flipping the bill for my hotel and my flight, I will definitely come to the UK. I'll get my my passport all sorted out. I'm ready for it. Come to Gamescom.
Is Home of Exile going to be back next year? Have they announced that? Have they announced it's going to be back next year?
I think World of Longplays just announced it.
Because if so, then I'm booking to go Gamescom next year if it's back, because I know they didn't do this year. That's why I didn't want to go. Well, that and the house fire, that kind of like stopped everything.
Yeah, I think you had a few things going on.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Please don't forget to go subscribe to Reece over at Games with Tea. What do you get going on the channel, man? Anything good coming up? Anything exciting for spooky month? I know I'm just driving this nail into the coffin.
I'm contemplating doing like a top 5 horror games on PSVR2, or ones that at least I like. I also find, take Captain Tuna for instance. My opinions very much differ from a lot of people's, but I might do like a top 5 horror games. But other than that, the last thing I released was the Thief thing. I've got some other videos coming out. I think I just finished my top 5 most played PSVR2 games video that I need to get out as well.
Nice.
So that was quite interesting. So, there's loads of different bits over there. I'm trying to get back to my PSVR2 roots, which people seem to love more than Quest, which is understandable in some places. So, we'll see. But, no, it's going quite well. Can't complain.
Very good. Very good.
Need it next milestone, so...
And we'll get you back on the show next time. Actually, what the fuck month is it? It's October. Jesus. So yeah, it'll probably be a few months before we see you again. But always a pleasure to have you here, man.
I'm fine with that, buddy.
And shout out to everybody who helps the channel run. It means more to us than you realize. We are, other than a little bit of ad revenue, we are 100%, which wouldn't be 100%. Let's go with 80%. Run on your generosity. So thank you so much for being here. Everybody, thanks for supporting us on patreon.com/withoutparolegames or by being a member over here. Shout out to everybody who tips during the show or everyone who gifts memberships during the show. You guys are so goddamn generous. I can't even believe it. We love you so much, but we're just happy that you're here. Even if you don't support the channel financially, if you hang out, shoot the shit in the chat, hang out on our Discord, that's what matters most to us. Or maybe you just sit back and watch the show and don't say a goddamn word. We know you're out there, and we love you just as much. Happy Wednesday, Reece.
Yeah, it's Wednesday. Oh wait, no, it's Thursday for me now.
Happy Thursday, Reece. Let's go. And it's time to figure out what happened this week in Without Parole history. We're going to go back to the past. We're going to play some shitty games that suck ass. Anybody want to sing along? I don't want to sing along. Never mind.
Is there a song?
Do you not watch AVGN?
No, I'm too cool.
Obviously. We're gonna go all the way back to October. We're going to go exactly 4 years ago. October 1st, 2021. Yep. My backup hard drive is chugging. To our big October preview. Also, X-Real's Zero Caliber announcement. Bro, 4 years ago, X-Real was teasing us with Zero Caliber on PSVR 1. 4 years ago. This has been going on for so long. And it's finally coming out this month. Supposedly on PSVR2. Pretty good stuff. That's it. Good night, everybody. We love you all.
4 years ago.
Yeah, and listen, I don't even think this is the first time they announced that anything about Zero Caliber on PSVR 1. I think the announcements go further back.
Probably.
So they've been teasing us for a long time. Anyway,
but
everybody have a great night.
We've all managed to drop the price, so let's go.
Oh, by 1 tier, right? We got it down to what?
Yeah, 1 tier. 5,000 wish list so far, at least. So
cool.
But
we'll keep fucking wishlisting it. Let's get this game down to $15. Let's go. All right. Good night, everybody. We love you all.